Make sure that I'm not echoey this time.
I can make no promises.
Use headphones.
God damn it. It's always something. I swear to God.
Did
It's
you
always
forget the
something.
intro?
I had like, there was a commercial playing in the background and probably caught that shit.
Ah,
And I didn't realize. So hopefully the music was louder than the intro itself. Welcome to the Machine Room Podcast. I'm Nostradamus. That, of course, right there is Hammer of Venus. We are your hosts, if you could call us by our real names. I'm Naz. That's Rachel. So
weird.
Naz is, well, is
That's a
not.
nickname of an
Yeah.
abbreviation
Well,
of your last name. Your
yeah.
name is Xavier.
Yeah. But people call me Naz. It's a crazy the evolution of shit. It's like at
Right.
first it was my nicknames as a kid, and then growing up, and then I'm X, and then I just became Naz.
What
My
did they
grown
call
up
you in
nickname is
PE?
is Naz.
What did they call you in PE? For sports?
For sports?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
That's where you get like all kinds of nicknames in like sports or PE class.
Oh, badass motherfucker. No, I got nothing then. It was just what it was. X. I was basically X throughout my school years.
Nice.
You know,
What
of
the
course,
fuck?
every girl got their own kind of nickname for you.
That's true.
You know, one chick. I mean, her story was that she didn't know how to say my name, so she just kept calling me Lifesaver. Lifesaver, and I'm like, my name's Xavier, like frustrated, like Xavier, it's like Lifesaver. I can't say it.
Oh my
I'm like, oh
god.
my god. Looking back though, like she was kind of cute. There was some girls that were cute that were like clearly into me, but I was just like, ew, get away from me.
Speaking of which, this is our show, so we can talk about whatever we want, right?
Uh, yeah.
Did I tell you about my horrible date last week?
No, you told me you were setting up for that date. You didn't
Oh
tell
my
me anything else afterwards.
god. This is gonna be one for the books because it was fundamentally awful.
Okay, let's hear it. Let's
It
hear
was
it right here, only in the Machine Room podcast.
going live in the machine. I won't give out any names or anything like that just in case, but so
We
she
gotta give her
says that
something.
we'll call her Damn It.
Damn it.
Her name is Damn It.
Okay, we'll call it damn it.
So Damn It starts texting me early that we should do something, and it's out of the blue. It's not like we had been talking up to that point. We hadn't talked for a while, and then she starts texting me that we should hang out and like get high or something. So I was, and it sounds like she's in like a hurry. She's like, okay, I'm on my way, kind of thing. So I start cleaning like fucking crazy. I'm drenched in sweat. My hair was wet. I like get everything cleaned up. So I wait, and she finally texts like hours later. Okay, I'm just now getting food. Okay. And then she texts like 30 minutes later. Okay, now I'm getting this. Okay, now I have to go to the store. So the whole like sense of urgency thing just went out the window. So now I'm like hanging out, you know, by myself, wondering where she's at. And then she calls me and she's like, I think I'm at your place, but I'm not sure. And she's like blocks away. I'm like, no, I don't live over there. I live over here. So I talk her to where I live, and I can tell something's wrong because she's not acting right. Not that I ever met her before. It was the
Uh-huh.
first time that I was ever going to meet her. So I don't know like her quirks and stuff like that, but I can just tell something's off.
Right.
So I give her the gate code to get in to the condominium plex, and she can't get it right, and I'm just like, something's wrong. I don't understand.
So she's a dumb blonde, is what you're telling me.
She's dumb. She's not blonde.
You don't know what her natural color is.
That's true. Everybody dyes their hair. So, anyways, I talk to her till she gets all the way parked behind my car, and I come out and I help her, and she's got like bags of shit. I'm like, okay. I told her if she wanted to get food and bring it over, I had already eaten, but if she wanted to eat here, that's fine. So I didn't know what she had. And she has this cup with her, like one of those thermal cups. And
Uh-huh.
she's like, "Here, try this." I'm like, "What is it?" She's like, "It's Crown Royal and Sprite."
So she was
So
already pre-gaming?
she pre-gamed the fuck out of the date. She came over drunk as hell.
Because she
And
didn't
she
want to
comes,
throw down.
I guess not. And then she comes inside and just like takes over the kitchen. She just knows where everything is, and she's putting shit away in the fridge and never asked me. And she's talking the whole time like 100 miles an hour. And I'm just like blown away like by what I'm seeing. I'm like, how presumptuous and rude all at the same time. And my room is all the way downstairs. It's basically a basement with a big. I have French doors that go out to the little balcony, and that's it. I have like a window in my bathroom, but that's it. So it's mostly dark down here.
It's the only window in the whole place.
That's it. That's the only light is from the French doors or the window in the bathroom. So
All right.
everything else is lamps.
Okay.
So we're hanging out, and she's still drinking. She brought wine for me to drink, but I wasn't ready for it. I was like, wait, and I don't like to be drunk or high or anything like that in front of strangers because I don't feel safe. I
Right.
don't know how they're gonna act.
You don't want to make that
So
first impression too.
exactly, I wanted it to be like us like getting to know each other and that kind of stuff. I didn't want to get all fucked up,
Mm-hmm.
and not that I do normally. I couldn't tell you the last time I was drunk or like high off my ass. So we basically hang out, watch TV. She's still drinking.
Still
Then
freeloading.
she, yeah, still freeloading. Then she wants to go buy some weed because I have some, but it's a very little amount.
Uh-huh.
And for
But you didn't
both of
tell her
us,
that, did you?
no, and I didn't know it. I thought I had a lot more than that, honestly.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you don't want to share. You don't know this person yet.
No, exactly. So we go out in my car, and my car is like no gas in it. I'm wondering when the car is gonna run out of gas.
Good excuse not to go anywhere.
Exactly. But we go all the way to what's called Midtown. It's like it is what it is. It's the middle of town.
That's the motto of Midtown. Midtown. It is what it is.
And I suggest we get Starbucks. So we get Starbucks, then we can go get some weed.
Ooh, wait. Hold on. Let's step back a little bit because this is important in the story. What did you get at Starbucks?
This is what was cute. We actually ordered the same thing in different sizes.
Oh.
And I thought it was like a cool bonding thing because that's like my go-to drink at Starbucks is I usually get a venti iced white mocha with the extra shot of espresso. She ordered the
Okay.
exact same thing but in grande.
Ooh.
But mine I don't get whipped cream, and hers she wanted whipped cream.
Mm.
So I thought it was cool. I was like, wow, that's really cute that we ordered the same drink.
And at that moment, you for a second there, you were like, Dreamweaver.
Exactly. So I'm thinking, okay, it's going good. We can forget about the other shit. We had a cute moment. And then we go to pay and she pulls out all this money, like bills and bills and bills.
So she's
And
balling.
I thought she's balling out that she's gonna pay for me.
She's a stripper.
That would be a bonus. So I think she's gonna pay for me. So I say, "Oh, do you need some money, like for me?" Because usually that's the sign of when somebody's gonna pay. They go, "Oh no, don't worry about it." She goes, "No, do you need some money?" And I went, "Whoa."
Ooh.
I was like, "Okay, never mind. I can pay for myself." So yeah, we leave there. We go get some weed, and she doesn't have her ID. So she gives me the money for the weed in case they ask for her ID. I have my ID. So I thought that was kind of weird. So we go all the way back to my place, and she just starts rolling blunts and like blazing like Snoop Dogg. Like when I smoke like a couple little hits and I'm done. She's just like fucking token hard and going to town. And at the same time, she's drinking, so she's like double dosing. And remember, she doesn't know me. She's never been to my house. She doesn't know my roommate.
I don't know, man. It sounds like she did her reconnaissance and she knows the layout to the whole damn apartment.
Oh my god, it was off. So like, then she starts like leaning all over me and laying on me and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, like I'll put my arm around her and stuff.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
And she's rubbing on my legs and groping on my
Ooh,
tits.
that's what I'm talking
And
about.
I stopped her and I'm like, let's just let this be about us, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then she gets all mad and defensive about
Ooh.
it. Like she came over to get lucky and I wouldn't put out, so she got mad and left, basically. So she's like now she's all high and she's like, wow, I wish I would have gotten some more Crown Royal and some munchies. And I had an edible. She gave me an edible, so I was kind of like feeling it a little bit, enough where I didn't want to drive.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I really can't drive. Can you drive? I'm like, I really don't think I should. She's like, well, I don't want to go by myself, but you can wait out in the parking lot. I was like, okay, I know how that's gonna go. She's gonna complain the whole time and give me a guilt trip. So I'll drive and go in with her, and we can go to Walmart. And she gets her Crown Royal, and then like as far as munchies, she's just like grabbing shit and throwing it in the cart. She's like, "You like Pringles?" I'm like, "Yeah." She grabs like all these Pringles. Do you like Cheez-Its? I'm like, "Yeah." She's just grabbing all these cheese.
What the fuck?
It was fucking crazy. So she doesn't have her ID to buy the alcohol. So I give her my card to buy the munchies, and then I got in line to buy her Crown Royal. And just long story short, I
It's too long for that. Too late for that already.
wait. Well, as far as the Walmart trip, I
Oh, okay. I
basically
mean,
I got in the wrong
I'm
I
not
got in the wrong line.
complaining. I'm not complaining. I mean, I'm enjoying this whole breakdown of the story. I'm in. I am in right now.
Just this part of the Walmart trip. I got in the wrong line. They took forever. They had us go get in another line. Nobody came to check us out there. So I was like in the checkout for like 40 minutes. And I left my phone in the car, and she's texting me and calling me from outside. And then she eventually comes in, And she's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "I don't know. This lady, she couldn't swipe her card. Her food stamp card didn't work. Her debit card didn't work. And instead of them like taking her to customer service or something, they were just like, fuck everybody else. I'm just going to focus on this one lady." And they just made us wait. I had one thing. I just had the Crown Royal.
Sounds like Walmart.
Yeah, it was a very Walmart thing to do. So I eventually um got out of there. We go back to my place, and now she has more Crown Royal, and she has that thermal cup, and it's like maybe half or more Crown Royal than it is Sprite. Like, so I'm obviously dealing with an alcoholic,
Mm-hmm.
because she finished a bottle and then started another one while she was here. So we're downstairs in my room, we're watching Paul on TV, and I think we're like, having a cool moment. Just and she even says at one point, she goes, "This is just nice, just sitting here, watching TVs with munchies and hanging out." I was like, "Yeah, it is nice."
Hold on,
By
hold on,
that
hold on,
point,
hold on. Let's go back a little bit. So you made out though?
no, we did
Oh,
nothing.
I thought you said making out right now.
Uh-uh. You
Okay, so
heard
maybe
it
I
wrong.
wanted to hear that you made out. Look, it's somewhere in the story. I mean, I'm happy that some boobs were grabbed, or something like that. But I'm rooting for you to get some. And clearly, you weren't feeling this chick, so I don't blame you.
No, I had no like attraction to her whatsoever. I thought like from the moment she started calling me and texting me, something was wrong. And it took a while to figure it out, but I once I did, it was she has to be inebriated like all the time. She's either drinking or getting high or both. And I don't feel comfortable being with somebody that's like that, because what if she turns around and tells somebody that it was rape
Right.
or, something like that?
Okay.
Oh,
Okay. I get you.
I
I get
wasn't in
you.
my right mind. So I don't make a move in those situations because I don't want to be liable.
Right. You playing it safe. I feel you. I
Yeah,
feel you.
exactly.
I respect that.
I'm I'm playing it double safe.
Triple safe.
Triple save, yes. So we're sitting there hanging out, everything's cool, and then like I said, I had already eaten, so I wasn't really that hungry.
Hmm.
And she goes, "Why wouldn't I bottle this food if you weren't gonna have any?"
This bitch. I'm telling you.
I'm like, okay. So I start to try to like eat some of it just to kind of like calm her down. I had like a little Debbie snack. I wasn't that high. I was like, I drove and went into Walmart, and when I'm high, I don't do anything. I just lay there and giggle.
And just like think.
Yeah, think of random shit.
Hmm.
Like the other morning when I texted you and I said that I ate an edible before 9:30.
Early as fuck. Like, let me tell you people this, okay? Like, I'm barely getting up for work, all right? And she texts me, it's what, 9:30 a.m. and
Mhm.
who just had an edible? And I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like, this is way too early. But it was you got nothing. I understand you got nothing to do, but for me, it's like, well, I can't. I gotta go to work. You're basically like, well, go to work high, and I'm telling you, like, look, I never enjoyed. Like, there were interesting stories, but I never enjoyed going. There's no camera. I never enjoyed going there high as hell.
It just depends on your tolerance and how much you take. And the edible is left over from the date. She gave me two edibles and I only ate one. So I had forgotten about it. And then the other morning when I woke up, like I said, I was all jittery for some reason and like shaky. And I found out later because I hadn't eaten anything the day before, or since the day before, I mean. So I was
So
just
you were
hungry.
just you were just on like Just your body was just on just high. That's it.
Yeah, so I didn't have any food. My hands and shit are all jittery. And my bright idea was it's 9:30 a.m. I'm gonna have a gummy edible. So then the rest of the day I spent it laying on the couch watching cartoons like a champ,
Like a fucking king.
like a boss. So yeah. So anyway, she says the thing about the munchies, and then she starts like dividing them out, like throwing shit in a bag, throwing shit in that bag, and like dividing them all up. I'm like, what the fuck? She's like, yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm like, okay, but are you okay to drive? And she obviously wasn't. Her face was all red. She couldn't focus or pay attention. And I'm like, I need to make sure that you're okay to drive because you don't look like you're okay to drive. She's like, no, I'm fine. I'm not slurring my words or anything. Like, that's a
Mm-hmm.
weird thing to say.
Mm-hmm. No, no, no. She's. It's not her first rodeo. She's
Nick,
clearly
exactly.
not new in the game.
Yeah, she knows what she's like when she's drunk.
Mm-hmm.
So she gets upstairs in my roommate's home, and I'm trying to do introductions and stuff like that. And she's getting all her stuff out of the refrigerator from the kitchen.
That
And
she, by the way, if you just got here, people, that this chick just like
took over
just
my my
she
kit.
knew the floor plan and just went straight to the damn kitchen and put her stuff. Okay, I'm gonna put my little shit here
Yep.
and there.
And she was even like all bitchy about the wine because I didn't have any wine. She's like, I'm taking my bottle. I was like, okay, shit. I don't give a fuck.
Right?
And I honestly, I didn't give a fuck at all. Like, at the beginning of it, when I first realized she was alcoholic, I was like, how do I get her to go home? How do I stop this from happening
You should have
and
went.
end this whole endeavor?
You should have went the route of the Vancombe lady from Matt TV. You know what? Cha, this is not gonna work out.
I should have, but like I told my friend Heather that's been on the show, I have
Shout outs to Heather.
my problem is I'm a people pleaser. So instead of saying something early like I should have, I just let it play out.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So my roommate can see how drunk she is and how high she is, and he's like, you know,
The roommate
and
had this like Dragon Ball Scouter of like her drunk levels over 9,000.
it was pretty bad. And his English is horrible. He's from Chihuahua, and he starts trying to tell her like, you drink. She's like, yeah. You you smoke a? She's like, yeah. He's like, no, you too much. You no drive. She goes, no, I'm driving. I'm going home. He's like, no, you no drive. You stay here. And he keeps trying to tell her, and they all look at me, and I'm like, yeah, you should. I don't think you should drive.
The guy, your impression of the person is just a couple decimals pitch to almost the fucking maid and Family Guy. No, no,
No,
Superman not here. No,
no.
perro afuera. No.
That's pretty much how he talks. So yeah. So then they get in this argument, this back and forth. And she's like, I'm not staying here. I'm going home. He's like, well, you stay here, or I drive you home. She's like, no, I'm gonna go home. And he looks
Oh
at
shit!
me.
Sorry. Go ahead.
That was inappropriate.
I'm sorry.
And he starts in on me. He's like, no bueno, no bueno. I'm like, hey, I know, I know. And so she goes out to her car, and I follow her out to her car. I'm like, look, like, you don't look like you're okay to drive. And she's like, no, no, I'm fine, whatever. So I'm like, okay. So I try to go in the house, and there's my roommate, and he's like, I'm gonna call the cops. And I'm just like, how the fuck did I end up in this situation? So he keeps threatening to call the cops on her for driving under the influence. And I'm like, please don't do that, because that's just gonna come back to me. And I shit you not, her job is working with kids.
Ooh.
And I'm like, if she
It's the
gets a
waitress from
DUI,
Always Sunny. That's who she is.
pretty much. So yeah. So I get him to be able to not call the cops on her. And she gets home and texts me, and when she gets there and everything's okay. So then my roommate starts threatening to move out. He's like, I'm gonna move out. I'm like, why?
Is this
And
all in one day?
all
What
in
the
one
fuck?
night. And he's like, come here, sit down, sit down. I'm like, what? And he's like, I'm gonna move out. I'm like, okay. Why? He's like, cause you had that girl over. And I'm paraphrasing, of course, because his accent is awful. And I'm like, why? And he's like, because you had a girl over and you said we couldn't have people over. I'm like, I never said you couldn't have people over. I'm just saying you can't have people over for weeks at a time. Because he kept wanting to bring his family here for like weeks. And he had his brother stay here for months. I'm like, that in our lease it says we can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, well, I had a friend that was going to stay a night or two, and you said no. Because we can't have people stay very long like that. She came over, she didn't stay the night. She was over here a couple hours and went home. So all in all, it was a really, really shitty day. I got everything cool though, the roommate and all that stuff. I went and bought beer for him. And yeah, so it was a bad date.
That roommate escalated quickly though. You know what? I'm moving out. Just like the one little incident.
Yeah, because I had somebody over. I was like, okay, bye. You're not
See,
gonna hold
see
that
that
over.
attitude right there. That's the attitude you should have gave the homegirl when you wasn't feeling it. You know what? Okay, bye.
I should have. And like I said, I knew from the beginning.
Should have been like Martin. Get the stepping.
Next time, I definitely will be.
This whole story, I swear, you can pitch this shit to Hulu or Netflix. This is a limited series, okay? If it gets like if it becomes like very successful, then you could have another season. But it's a limited series, and everything you told us was episodic. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Like you got like episode one is probably just like the whole like talking to the person, and then get to the meeting part. Then starts episode two of the meeting part and being there, and she going in your fridge and all this shit, and kicking back. And then episode three can go to, I think that's when you guys went to Walmart, correct? Right
Yeah.
afterwards. Yeah, then
No.
go.
No, we
No,
went to Starbucks and got weed first.
Starbucks
Went
and
back.
weed. Okay,
Went back
episode
to the.
three.
Back to the condo. Then she wanted more Crown Royal and munchies. Then we went to Walmart.
There you go. Well, there you go. Okay, so you see what I'm saying? Like this is episodic because this shit literally just keeps going. It's one of those series where it's like, holy shit, the drama just keeps escalating. And I know it was a shitty day for you, but let's face it, like the comedian said in Watchmen, everything's one big joke, you know?
Yeah.
So it was shitty day then, but looking back, it's extremely hilarious. All right. So you take this shitty day and this actual drama, and then you just make it into a freaking hilarious, episodic shit about just dealing with somebody on like a blind date kind of shit. And that's it. It's like, usually your story will have to have a beginning, middle, end, whatever, stuff like that. Maybe you could have some character development or whatnot, but at the end, it's just like, all right, that was a day. That was just a day.
Do you ever watch that show, This Is Not Happening?
The what?
There's a show on Comedy Central called This Is Not Happening.
No, I never seen it.
Well, they have a bunch of episodes on YouTube, And that's the whole show is like comedians telling fucked up stories like that.
Do they animate it?
No, it's just them uh, on stage telling these stories, and they're fucking hilarious. That's what it was like. It was totally like one of those stories, and like it could have just ended with the girl going home, and I would have went watched TV and gone to bed. But no, then my roommate had to get involved and say all this epic, extra shit, and then I had to go out and buy beer for him just so he wouldn't move out.
It's beautiful, man. It's so. I mean, it's not beautiful, but when you look back, it's fucking beautiful. Like, look what happened here. You know, this stuff happened, and you just told an amazing story that got me and
Really?
everybody else here glued. Like, I can't. I don't mean I can't think of anything right now to really tell you a story that'll get you glued and that I can go in depth. But that was fucking in depth. I mean, look, King Diabetes even gave you a name for one of the episodes, Frappuccino Kush. I'm telling you,
Frappuccino Kush it is. I like it.
this was I was enthralled. I was into this fucking story. I could picture, I could see it, and if it was on Netflix or Hulu, I would have watched every single episode. I would be like, what's going on here?
You ever seen that movie, Third Wheel?
No, but I've been third wheels in my life.
Yeah, that shit ain't no fun.
Nah,
That,
it ain't.
that's but that's how that movie is. It's like a guy trying to go out on a date, and this bum shows up and is the third wheel. But that's like that movie. It's just like more and more shit happens and happens and happens and happens. And that's how that date was. It was just like just a shit show from the beginning.
But it was epic. It's
Wow,
so
I didn't know
good.
it was that long. Damn, it's already 30 minutes.
Yeah, no, this episode, like it fit. You know, it's like Stranger Things. It was like that was your Stranger Things day right there. You totally got thrown in the upside down with Homegirl,
I
and
did.
you had to find your way fucking out of it. Had
And
to
I was
completely
like,
find your
I
way.
remember at one point she was sitting there talking, and I could feel like on my face I had a smile, and I'm like nodding along, listening to her. And then I said it in my mind, it's like, how the fuck do I get her to go home?
Oh man, we've all been there.
Oh, it was bad.
We've all been there. Thank you, King Diabetes, for some bits right there. You see, your story
Yeah,
earned
thank you.
bits.
Dollar bills.
Your story earned bits. I was really so shout outs to Damn It, because that's what we're calling her,
Yep, her name's Damn
for
It.
giving you such great story to tell and material.
And that was one of the first in-person meets that I had with meeting somebody on the Facebook dating site on the
There's a
app.
okay, so okay, yeah, because I wanted to ask the question, like, how did you meet this person? There's a Facebook dating app.
Yeah, it's like one of the bonus features of the Facebook app on your phone. If you go all the way back to where it shows like memories and find friends and communities and fundraisers and all that shit, there's one for dating. I don't see it now. Oh, there it is. It has a heart on it, and
Oh shit, you're right.
it's just like a dating app. Like you can put pictures and fill out like things about yourself,
Get
and
the
it's
fuck
free.
out of here.
So it's not like other dating apps where they charge you to be on there, or they charge you to send messages or get your likes or whatever. The Facebook one is free, so I was like, well, that's got to be good. So this is the first girl that I've met on there in person. I've had other like close encounters where it almost happened, but
Mm-hmm.
something happened, and the dates were null and void basically. So I was thinking, well, wow, this is going to be like new territory for me.
So then you rated her at a star.
I didn't rate her. No, I'm gonna avoid that
Mm,
one.
Braver Soul, aka my boy Manny. He says he's on Facebook dating and it suggests moms.
Since I'm like real close to the Mexican border, I get a lot of fucking people from Mexico in mine.
Yeah, they want you guys to cross the border and meet each other?
Hell yeah, they do.
Jesus.
Just like the upside down.
Yeah, but I think that's one border we could say like keep them over there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't think we want anybody from the upside down over here.
No, we
Like,
don't.
close that border.
Which brings us to our topic of the episode, finally.
I mean, the longest segue ever, 33 minutes to get to it, but we did it. Stranger Things season 4, and Rachel just got herself out of the one Stranger Thing day. Stranger
Oh
Things
my
season
god.
4 was
The
an
best.
amazing season,
I
and we're
think it
gonna
was the
go.
best one yet.
Yeah, I also feel that too. I've heard one of my friends say like it was slow and there was just like not enough fighting, whatnot, stuff like that. But I was like, dude, it was a build up. It was a big build up. Like I was enthralled. We were watching it
Oh
and we
yeah.
were just in
I love to build up.
we were enthralled. Everything. It it got to the point where especially towards the last episodes, which by the way, each fucking episode was like the length of a damn movie.
Yeah, they're all like mini movies, so there's 9 movies for them to film and write and direct and do special effects for. It's fucking insane that they made all that work.
It was so long. The last episode was almost the length of say like fucking Endgame or something. Like it was so
Right?
fucking long. And I'm not complaining because it was like I complained at the time, so it's like I just want to get this over with. God damn it, it's fucking forever. But while watching it, we were like totally in it and loving every second of it. And but I was really like frustrated because so much shit went wrong for these people.
I know. And not only that, you still have all the questions that were left over from the previous seasons. You're like, how are they going to meet up? How are they going to overcome all this shit? Now we have new characters. We have these bullies that we don't like. We have this new spooky, ugly, squiddy man going into people's minds like Freddy Krueger.
Mm-hmm.
It was like I had a lot of questions at the beginning, and you're wondering like, are they going to answer all these questions that I have? And they do, and it's so satisfying and worth the wait.
It was when they reveal the whole story of Vecna and whatnot. I literally just turned to my girl and I was like, "This is a fucking anime. This is a freaking live action anime that
Mm-hmm.
all these years was building up to this moment right here."
That's
You
what it
know,
felt like.
yeah, like this guy had like the ultimate fucking backstory of why and this, that, and it's like the ultimate good versus evil. Like, here's your main antagonist, and here's your main protagonist, and here's all these people involved. And I know a friend of mine would be like, well, it's all like Dungeons and Dragons, it's basically that. It's like, yes, I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah, yeah. Dungeons and Dragons is its basis, but somehow along the way these people either unintentionally or intentionally had to have been like, yo, this is like our live action anime. you know like i can see all this I can see all this in an anime form.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a really good story that is something that we've been like attached for so many years, and to see where they're at now was really good. But yeah, this one is definitely one of the top tier, you know?
And I'm like weary to say shit about it because I don't want to spoil it for anybody
I know it's
that
like
hasn't seen it yet.
we don't want to, but we also want to like go deep inside of it.
Yeah.
Stranger Things 4 basically takes place, of course, after 3. Everybody's separated, so this is one big fucking story
Oh,
about
they're
like we got
everywhere.
some people in California, we got the rest of them still in Hawkins, Indiana. We
You
have
got people in Russia.
Yes, we have people in Russia. At the end of season 3, it turns out that Hopper is in Russia, so we got Hopper in Russia, and then I think that's the only thing, right? But then there's like a road trip in the series. There's this big like
Well,
escape.
they take 11 to well, like Nevada.
Yes,
So then the crew from where she was at in California, they have to road trip, try to find her in Nevada, while the people in Indiana are doing their shit. And the mom from California goes to Alaska to try to get the guy from Russia. It's a mess, but it all makes sense in the end.
it does all make sense because like I said, it was one of those big like anime kind of stuff where everything that's happening, but it's happening for it. They don't know that all this is happening to each other, you know? Like people are
Yeah,
just dealing with their own shit, but what they don't realize is that in the end or, you know, overall, all this, they're all doing their own part and all in this together fighting this big evil,
yeah,
you know?
exactly.
And there's this whole thing like I told her like, oh, they're gonna all meet by the end. And then when it got close to the end, I was like, well, maybe they won't meet because it showed like it seemed like impossible, you know, like oh shit, then they're still gonna be separated. It's really cool to see this whole thing, and the music in this fucking season was
Oh my god,
amazing.
I
And
had to look up the soundtrack on Spotify.
me too, because there was this one track, there was one specific track that I love to death, and it was
Let me
this
guess.
new edition of Separate Ways by Journey.
Yes, that was mine too.
Holy
Oh my
shit.
god, when I first heard it, I was like, wait, that sounds like Journey. What
Yeah.
is that? And then they start with the vocals, and I was like, that is Journey. What the fuck? Like a remix. So then I found the soundtrack on Spotify, and it was like the last song. I was like, oh my god, it's on here.
It was so good. And when I heard it, I was like, yo, this is fucking amazing. This is like a movie trailer. This music is like a movie trailer music. And when you hear it, it plays out just like that. Like
Right?
all I heard was the music, and this is the thing I like to, you know, my head is just like in that kind of mindset when I hear music, a movie trailer, a scene. So this music, I just keep hearing it, and I'm all like, "This summer," you know, like, and then all these clips, like, "No, you can't stop him," and all this stuff is like, "I love you," you know, and then just like, no, that's different. It's the separate ways. Fuck, I can't get the song, but you hear this song and this, and the way they put it in the series at that point, it was so perfect. You got that,
Mm-hmm.
and then you got the best character of the season, Eddie Munson, and his freaking Metallica moment,
Oh my god.
which is freaking beautiful.
It's
That
fucking
earlier,
epic.
that earlier while I was streaming on my Twitch, I was listening to Sephiroth's theme from Final Fantasy VII, and I just had it play in the background while I was doing my thing. And at one point, there was just this hard riff, right? I'm like, yo, I didn't know that shit went hard at this point. That's what they should have put in that scene. And then I went and I played the scene and I put that music over it. Tell me why it was fucking like perfect and epic.
Oh wow.
So then it looked like Eddie was playing the fucking a one winged angel, and it was just so fucking a masterpiece. And I was cracking up on how perfect it fit in there.
That's awesome.
Master of Puppets was every song was specifically picked And when you think about it, it just makes sense. Master of puppets, of course, he was trying to be the master of the puppets, calling all these things to them to distract
Yep.
them from everybody else. It was so fucking brilliant.
Same thing with that Journey song.
And the
It
journey saw
was
the
like
separate ways,
yeah.
and it was cutting to everybody who are in their separate ways, but all coming to the same journey. Oh my god, man!
Yeah! What?
What?
Just blew my mind.
Oh my god. And then the creme de la creme, the oh my god, it just blanked my mind. Running Up That Hill song that they
Yep,
play over and over. I love that song. It's on my 80s playlist. And
I have.
Placebo did a great cover of it.
I heard Placebo did a great cover. And you know, since the song's out and is number one again and bumping and shit like that, everybody's making their own kind of covers. So I heard like two other kind of covers from it, and I am
Oh
not
wow.
tired of the song at all. I still like it. I know someone who's just tired of it because it's everywhere, and it's like, all right, dude.
It is
Well,
everywhere
that
though.
that sucks for you is what I say in my head because I'm not tired of it yet. Probably never will be. But I don't know if you ever heard it, the story of Eddie is it's like it's a sad story, but he totally was the scene stealer in this season. But you know
I don't know.
the beginning when he's dealing with Chrissy is like, Chrissy, I don't like this. Chrissy, wake up. I don't like this. But they take that and they made it into like this auto tune kind of song and they use it on TikTok videos. So I've been singing that shit in my head.
Oh my
Like, I
god.
don't like this. Chrissy, wake up.
I don't know. My boy in this season was another new addition to the show was Argyle. I just thought every scene he was in, he stole it.
Was that the stoner?
Yeah, the long-haired stoner
Yeah, yeah,
guy.
yeah. He was really cool. Oh no. He was really cool. Yeah, he was funny as
I
shit.
love him.
When they went off and went to the other surfer pizza whatever spot
Yeah,
and they're just like communicating with each other. Very, very
Bertachos.
yes. Very, 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 very freaking awesome.
Oh my god, I
And
love
we
him.
gotta give it up because this motherfucker, like, I didn't care about him before, but this season this guy became a badass. Murray. Murray did his thing.
Which one's Murray?
Murray
The
is
guy
the
with the
dude that
beard?
helped Joyce.
Yeah, that guy's the shit. He even like shaved part of his face and pretended to be Russian, and oh, it was epic.
He fucking was getting his fucking martial arts on, baby.
I did.
YCA karate, yup.
Yes.
He was like, I'm a black belt, but I took on teenagers. It helped. He was fucking them up.
Oh, I love it.
He was fucking them up.
And Hopper looked like he still had that Hellboy body.
Uh huh. Yeah, he did. You know, I gotta give it to him. Hellboy, he knocked it out the park with Hellboy. I got nothing against him as Hellboy. He was great.
I just think he has a weird mouth.
The 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 movie, I don't know. It's hard to try to like. Guillermo del Toro has such a mark on us, you know, so it's hard to get out of that. Like the movie was trying to go more deeper into the comic book kind of stuff, and it got really dark, and there was some graphic shit in there that I really really liked. But I think like the overall presentation of that movie was, eh. But he was.
Yeah,
I got nothing against the actor. I forgot what his name is. I got nothing against him playing Hellboy. He did a good job.
the guy that played Hopper.
Yeah, the guy who played Hopper.
Yeah,
Yeah, just
I
like he
know it.
did a great job in Black Widow when he was that
Oh, the Russian dude.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Who kept going like the Captain
Mm.
America talk about me.
Yeah, he's a great actor, and he really like brought it this last season on season 4 of Stranger Things. Like he was really on key.
Everybody was, man. Everybody
Yeah,
brought their
everybody
angel.
was.
Everybody brought their A game. The kids were all on it. And here's something else about the kids. You know, everybody got the character development. And I was picking this up because I was telling her too. It's like why is Will crying? And I'm like, I think he's in love with um Mike,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
he's dealing with this, but they don't flat out say it. And the actor who played Will, he like confirmed, like, yeah, Will is dealing with being in love with Mike, but Mike not loving him back and being in love with 11. But he loves his best friend so much that he's always there for him, trying to help him. But it still hurts him because he wants to fall in love. But they don't
Yeah.
tell you this in the series because I mean, it's good they didn't tell you this because it's just something that you just know. It's telling you without telling you. So that's the
That that
that's the
is a
beauty of
huge
it.
part of acting,
Yeah,
is
exactly.
being able to say something with like your body language or your face, something like that without putting it into words. But there's
Mm-hmm.
like several different like key moments that shows that Will is gay. Like there was the girl in his class trying to play footsie with him, and
Oh
he
yeah,
was
and he
like,
was like,
"Ugh,
"Bitch, get off me! Fuck wrong with you?
ugh, get away from me, bitch."
Fuck off me!"
And then this like super painting that he was making for Mike coming to visit in California where they live now,
Mm-hmm.
and crying all the time.
But the haircut, man, can he
Oh, I
can
know.
he like
Can we not
leave
give
that
him a good
behind?
haircut?
You know?
Why does he gotta look like Lloyd Christmas from fucking Dumb and Dumber?
I know, like I'm saying, man, the kid should have better hair, man. Please. Season
It's the
5.
it's the
Let's
80s. Where's the chili bowl? Like,
yeah. Give him something, man. Let him have some fashion or some shit.
I don't know. It's always
The
bad.
ha-
Every season he has bad hair.
the hair is killing me.
First season wasn't that bad. It was kind of long.
Yeah, because he was a kid, it was there, but it looked like the more older he gets, if he had it longer, yeah, it would have helped. But what was with that short? Joyce, we gotta have a conversation with Joyce because if she let her son keep having that hair,
It's bad.
she's not
Maybe it's
winning
her
Mother of the
fault.
Year. She's not. Well, no. She sure as hell won um Ride or Die of the Year. That's for sure.
That's true. But
Mm-hmm.
speaking of Will crying, that's now become a meme.
Has
I've
it?
seen
Oh
I've seen
yeah.
several different memes about it. Like there was one that was like when the customer service rep uh turns the touchpad to you and you put no tip,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then
That's the
it
one I
was
saw.
Will crying.
That's the one I saw. That one was funny.
I was like, that's fucked. That was a serious moment in the show where he's in love with this guy that is in love with his like adopted sister, and he couldn't do anything but turn around and cry so nobody could see him, and now y'all want to make fun of that.
Oh,
But
his
I
brother
laughed
saw it.
regardless. He sure did.
His brother for sure saw it. And let's give it up for. And that's the thing, man. Like, this season really played with our emotion because you rooted for um Nancy and Jonathan, right?
Yeah.
You rooted for them, and now in this season you're rooting for Nancy and Steve.
The poofy hair?
Uh huh.
Yeah.
And you're
I want
like,
him to hook up with somebody. He's always playing mommy with all these kids.
he was tired of it this time. He's like, I don't want to be babysitter no more. I want to go for fucking an adventure with you guys. King Diabetes said, maybe it's me, but Erica has been my favorite character since season 3. Erica.
Is she the
Erica.
younger sister?
The little sister? The Sinclair?
Yeah. Is
Oh
that
my
who that
gosh.
is?
Is that who we're talking about? Because if so, she's still like when she's like on their side helping them out, she cool. But when she's fucking doing some bogus ass shit, that goes against them, she got them like when they get caught. And then they're like, no, no, yeah, we were just over there chilling, and this, and that. And then she steps in and is like, these motherfuckers lie. Like, I was like, shut up, you bitch.
This
Yeah,
bitch.
I don't like her.
She has her moments when she's actually with the gang and getting down, but
Yeah.
her attitude on the other times, like her sassy fucking don't take no shit attitude is like, yeah, her
Yeah.
don't give a fuck attitude is just annoying. Like, I would have been really like, if I was Lucas, I would have been like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? You're hurting us. You're fucking us up, man. And also, Lucas got on my damn nerves. Like, why you going against your boys? That's the kind of shit that I was telling you that frustrated me and annoyed me and shit like that. Cause like, you motherfuckers are making shit worse. I didn't understand the whole Lucas thing. Like, you all these seasons you were real cool with your friends and whatnot, but I don't remember anytime you're like, I want to be like one of the normal kids. Now I'm like, I want to be cool. Fuck my boys.
Okay, let's do this. What was your favorite moments this past season?
That part with the Journey song.
Yes.
Eddie Munson rocking out. Um, I guess Murray fighting the plane. I do like the episode with the whole backstory when it finally was revealed because
That was amazing.
yeah, that was the sense where I was like, holy shit, this is like a fucking anime. Like, I really dug that. Mm, trying to think. I mean, the last episode was just fire. You
Yeah.
know, the last episode, like, if I was to watch something, if I was to watch an episode again, I think I would just stick to the last episode. I could watch that again, or maybe the last two episodes because I think the one before that had the Journey song. Maybe I think
I thought that was at the very end.
I could totally go for that. Though, and I mentioned this in the Twitter, I am mad at Jack Black though because he ruined a character for me.
Jack Black.
Yeah. There was some interview and he was talking about, yeah, me and my son were watching Stranger Things, blah, 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 this. But why did this person have to blah, blah, blah? And I'm like, oh, son of a bitch. Like, I wasn't done yet. And you already told me the fate of one of the characters, and I was really
Oh,
mad
that
about it.
sucks.
Yeah, so when it happened, like, I knew it was going to happen. I wasn't going to ruin it for, I wasn't really going to ruin it for my girl. But I knew it was gonna happen. I also knew the guitar solo part was gonna happen, but that's because
I
it
did
was like,
too.
yeah,
That
because it's
got
like, look at him fucking practicing, blah blah blah. I was like, oh shit, I can't wait for this moment.
that got spoiled for me from I have like multiple metal um Facebook groups that I follow,
Mm-hmm.
and one of them spoiled it before I even knew who the character was. So I was like, who are they talking about?
But
Because
that's
I hadn't watched the new season yet, so I didn't know that there was a new character on there called Eddie.
yeah. I also didn't see the series yet when I kept seeing the Eddie stuff. And that right there being spoiled was not a big deal. The fate of the of a character in the series, that was a big deal to me. I was like, God damn it! But it is what it is. I still had a great time watching the show, and nothing else got spoiled like the Vecna or anything other than that, and blah blah blah. And um,
Now that's why I watched it like once they released volume 2. That's when I was like, okay, I'm gonna jump in on this and watch it now before the ending gets spoiled for me or something. So when you go and you watch it all together, you get to see um I got to see the number one or Vecna's backstory and all that shit and then the amazing ending.
mm-hmm,
And luckily nobody spoiled it for me. It's spoiled now because it's all out there.
it is
So
all out there. But
we're really not saying anything that you probably don't know by now.
a lot of things started making sense though. After watching the series, so like for her the TikTok stuff like Chrissy wake up, and she's like, oh, this is where it came from.
Yep.
And like t-shirts being made where I saw one where it's Hopper and he's all like a barbarian and shit like that, and I'm like,
Oh wow.
oh, I don't get it. And then I see the fucking final episode and he's about to go at the Demogorgon with the sword, and it was like he's the barbarian of this whole, you know, journey and shit like that. D&D kind of like,
Hmm.
he's the
Yeah,
barbarian.
exactly.
So I was like, I get that. And people here in the chat room, like King Diabetes is talking about when 11 broke the girl's nose at the skate rink. Yeah.
That's my favorite. One of my favorite moments.
Mm-hmm.
Cause she sat there and took that girl's shit for a while before she did. And she tried to do something at one point, and then she realized she didn't have her powers anymore. I was like, no way, that sucks.
Yep. She
And
lost it like
then
Obi-Wan.
yeah. So then they're at the skating rink, and she starts in on her bullshit. And she's walking away. I'm like, man, it sucks. She doesn't have her powers. I wonder what she's gonna do. And she grabs that kid's skate. And I was like, no fucking way. They're not gonna show this. Crack right in the fucking head. And
She
that
deserved
like
it.
split her face open. Like
Oh yeah, she
that's
deserved it.
permanent damage.
Fuck that bitch.
That was fucking beautiful.
Here's the thing. Like I was telling my girl is just look, I understand like some kids are a piece of shit, but you're telling me the whole fucking skating rink? Everybody? Not one
Yeah,
person
that
was
was pretty
like, "Hey,
shitty.
yo, stop this shit." Like, no, that the odds of that happening, period, is very very low.
Yeah.
Somebody always gotta say something or be like, "Yo, stop this shit" or whatever. Not everybody, every single person was like, "Ha ha, nerd."
That was so shitty because I remember what it was like being that young and having bullies and being fucked with and picked on and stuff like that.
Make it tougher.
Yeah.
Make it tougher. Let's give it up to the bullies in the world. Danny mentions, I just want to say that the Four Horsemen song by Metallica that Billy was playing in his room was a clue that Henry Vecna 001 that he was attempting to open four gates, great white writing. See, I didn't catch
I
that.
agree. Yeah, I didn't either.
I didn't
That's
catch
a
that.
really good thing to
You see, the
be
four.
spot on about.
If he really wanted to open the gates, he should have got the Four Horsemen: Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, fucking whoever else is in the Four Horsemen. I don't know. Once you see them, then woo, upside down, all over the place.
Exactly.
I do. I was happy that the second half was two short movies. Hell yeah, I do believe that Will is gonna be like like there is a big tie-in between Will and Vecna that make this actually makes me want to see it all over again from the beginning because
Me too. That
you
and
start noticing things, or see like the connections and whatnot.
people have been posting all these kind of like memes and there's a channel or a group on Facebook. It's Stranger Thing memes. They've been posting like backstories and articles and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And it's really made me want to go back and watch the entire series from episode or from season 1 again because they're like, well, Vecna was the one reason why Will was in the Upside Down in the first place. I was like, really? And then like when they showed Vecna's backstory, they showed like what he's been doing this whole time he's been in there.
Yeah, that's what I want to see because he mentions stuff from back then. It's like, oh, your friend, when I took her and blah blah blah. And I was like, okay, so you were behind that because I want to understand like what took you so long. Then, if you were behind all this shit, why were you doing just nothing and having other things doing your bidding?
Right.
Did you need to get like a certain amount of shit before you started opening the four gates? What took you so long? Besides 11, like foiling your pants all the time, I would have got away with it if it wasn't for you and the fucking kids.
I think I want to see Will come back like fucking um
Doing something.
like Akira kind of shit, like where he
Yeah.
turns super badass like 11 and
Do
fights back.
something. Fuck, you know?
I really hope that he's going to be like the main character in the next season.
And I hope he gets a different haircut.
Me too.
Cause let's end that shit, all right? And let's not separate people anymore. We got everybody together in
Oh
the
my
fucking town.
god.
Let's do this. Let's go
I know
all out.
the whole season you're wondering like when is everybody going to get back together?
Mm-hmm.
And then they split up more and then they split up more and you're like, fuck, when is this ever going to end? And then like the last episode you're like, okay, that's good.
Oh,
Finally.
I just remembered another badass scene to me was 11 versus the helicopter.
That was epic.
Yeah. And it was just so badass, you know, that it was a badass shot when she took that shit
Hmm.
down.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um,
She got down in that shit.
Another one of my favorites was the was like a barbarian fight in the Russian prison with one of the demigorgons,
Uh-huh.
and it just like fucking killed all of them, except for Hopper, of course.
What? Will's gonna bust an end of days like Arnold Schwarzenegger and kill himself to defeat Vecna, but first he will fart in Vecna's face.
I understood that reference.
Oh shit. That military general dude is a complete. They were all dicks.
There was the basketball guy with the Letterman jacket. That I was hoping for that guy to die from episode 1. I was like, fuck this kid. And then he goes on this like pilgrimage to try to like stop Eddie. Thinks
And it's
that they're
like,
devil
look,
worshippers.
yeah, I really hated him. You know,
Hate.
he he definitely he definitely played the role of us for to hate him, but also you
There's
gotta
like no redeeming factors about him.
no, but also you see you gotta understand where he was coming from as well. So I like I get it, dog. You think this motherfucker did it, and you're going really hard on this whole fucking belief that is it's all cults and Dungeons and Dragons and whatnot. But still, like you're going to that very extreme, you know,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
to like not even to the point where your focus was on Eddie anymore. Like you were gonna fuck like when they went after the girl was there an Erica, and I'm like, dude, are you for real? Like a girl, dude, like a girl, you're gonna come at her?
Yeah, that was really shitty. And then like he made it his mission to like try to kill Lucas. It was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, now you're just being a racist dickhead.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, this is getting really racist right here. And I was like, come on, Lucas, use something around you, you know, like fight in
Yeah,
the
do
street.
something.
Yeah, use something. If your hands and feet are not working, motherfucker, you start grabbing the nearest shit to you and go Jackie Chan on the
Hmm.
motherfucker. Jackie Chan taught me that, yo. I'm gonna use this chair as a weapon. I'm gonna use this table as a weapon. I'm gonna use this ladder as a weapon. Just get
If you've ever
creative.
if you've ever been somewhere and you think that a fight may go down, you start looking for shit. Like, okay, the
Mm-hmm.
straw. I'm gonna stab him in the eye with the straw.
You start scoping the place out and you get your John Wick on. Hey, we always bring it back to John Wick.
But speaking of which, did you see that new? I already asked you this, but I'm gonna ask it again for comedic value.
Uh-huh.
Did you see the new Dungeons and Dragons movie trailer?
I did see the new Dungeons and Dragon movie trailer.
What did you think of it?
I think it's gonna be a fun movie.
Yes.
I think it's gonna be a real fun. You're talking to the guy who actually loved the other Dungeons and Dragons movie with Marlon Wayans in it.
Oh my god.
Like I enjoyed that shit back then, and to this day, I will still enjoy that fucking movie. But this one looks like it's a real good like Ocean's 11, but in Dungeons and Dragons.
Exactly. And it has Chris Pine in it, who was Captain Kirk. So what can
Yes,
go wrong from there?
I'm happy to see him working because there's days when I do think about it, it's like, what's Chris Pine up to, man? Like, what happened to his career? You know, like he was the it guy. Like, all I think about is Wonder Woman. I was like, no, this guy should be doing more.
Yeah, me
He
too.
should be doing more. Got Chris Pine. It got Justin Smith, I think his name is. It got Michelle Rodriguez. She's gonna throw
Yes.
down. It got Hugh Grant. I was like, what the fuck?
Hugh
When I
Grant's
saw
in
Hugh Grant, I was like,
everything.
really? Okay, you got me a little bit more now. Like, this is an interesting cast. It's not a love story, you know? Like, what's Hugh Grant doing here? You know? He does dramedies,
He does.
right? Yeah, British dramedies. Why was Hugh Grant getting all the bitches back in the day? I don't, because he's British.
His accent, I guess, and the hair.
His hair, yeah, because you know the face wasn't exactly everything. But then again, you know, you could say that about the guy who was the 11th Doctor and you saw in fucking Morbius. Like his face is a little like, but
He
he
has
was
a weird
pulling
face.
bitches. He was pulling
Same
all the
thing with
fucking.
Benedict Cumberbatch. He has a weird face and a weird name, and he gets bitches.
He people love him. I mean, you know, especially if he's like, especially if he's fucking Doctor Strange. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but he does have a weird fucking. I guess I don't know, man. Is my face not weird enough?
I guess not.
Yo, speaking of faces and weird, not really, but you know, I always say that I have like the Eugene Levy eyebrows, but
No,
no,
you
I scratch me out because there's this man at work. This guy is not Cuban. I believe he was. I thought they told me he was Cuban, but then it turned out that he's actually like something else. But anyways, he's Latino. The spitting image of Eugene Levy.
don't. Oh my
I
god.
bullshit you not. Like now, like the same age, you
Oh my
know?
god.
And then we finally brought it to his attention. He's like, "Oh yes, I heard this plenty of times." And then LP someone was like, "Hey, you ever watch like Schitt's Creek?" And I'm like, "Yes, I love that show." Him, his son. So he actually knows Eugene Levy and his work,
Oh
and
my
he knows that
god.
he looks like Eugene Levy.
That's awesome.
The spitting fucking image, yo! I love it when I find people that look like celebrities. It's so entertaining to me.
We had a substitute teacher in high school who sounded, I shit you not, verbatim, he sounded like Harvey Keitel. And it like freaked me out. Like every time I turned my head, I thought it was really him. So I waited till after class and I'm like, has anybody ever told you you sound just like Harvey Keitel? And he's like, who's that? I was like, and you don't know who he is?
Damn.
Oh man.
Damn.
I was like, that sucks.
And wah, wah, wah. And then you just have to restart the game. Bam, 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 bam. Ah, King Diabetes has only seen 9 months. He was like, "This is the only fucking Hugh Grant movie I need." But if you guys haven't watched Stranger Things 4, if you guys haven't watched Stranger Things 4 and been listening to us, then shit, my power to you, I
Something's
guess.
wrong with you.
Yeah, yeah. We didn't really give away too much at all, really. Just our like thoughts and moments and whatnot. The thing was beautifully shot, edited. There were 9 fucking movies, basically. You know, like
Pretty
real talk.
much.
It was watching like MCU movies all together and they connected. the the final episode was Infinity War and shit. You know.
You know what really got me is I was watching an interview with the Duffer Brothers, or however you say their name,
Mm-hmm.
and they said they went to 12 different other places to try to get that show made, and they got denied.
Amazing, right?
They got turned down 12 times, and this show is like single-handedly saving Netflix right now because
Kind of.
like so many people are leaving Netflix and they're blaming like those Truebill apps and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
and they're blaming people like Nas that have like 10 people on this this Netflix list.
It's
I'm like,
like
who gives a
5.
shit?
It's like not even. It's like 4 now, right? It's
Yeah, it's like 4.
like 4 people.
But still, like, and they want to start charging people extra for that. So people are leaving. Season 4 comes out of fucking Stranger Things and it's just like saving the day.
They come back and then they're all like, "All right, I'll see you in the next Stranger Things." And then it hurts me because I'm a big believer that Netflix has a lot to offer, and I always go on there and have plenty of shit to watch. Plenty. I need to watch a Bird Academy because I keep hearing that this third season is fucking off the chain.
Oh, wow.
So I need to watch that. But currently on Netflix, I'm focusing on The Flash season 8 because they finally have all that there. And that's
Oh,
been really
really?
good. Yeah, that's been good. And then in between all that, I go back to Hulu and rewatch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia because I love that show to death.
It's too long. I
What? Oh,
gave up after
Sunny?
like season 8. Yeah.
Perfect. I mean, each season is real short. It's like only 10 episodes or so.
I know, but they have so many seasons. I'm like, fuck, I can't deal with it.
It's beautiful. It cracks me up. It cracked me. It's
Then they,
easier to go through that, which is like 30 minutes or less, whatever each, than going through something like, I want to see all of Supernatural, but motherfucker, that's like 15 seasons and they're almost an hour long each.
yep.
That's some dedication right there.
I don't know. Sometimes I can get down with longer shows because, like, I know I'm going to be covered with watching something for a while. So, like, I thank you for the bits. Um, like, I just watched Breaking Bad again, not on purpose. They aired all the seasons on AMC to get ready for Better Call Saul. So I was like, yeah, I can watch that. And I just know, like, I have something to look forward to for a while. But I don't know what it is about It's Always Sunny. I think it was just like shows like that that have a formula. I get burnt out on really easy.
I mean, it changes. Like you see them grow over the years,
Yeah.
Like the formula changes and the story also changes. I mean, yeah, a lot's happened. There is, I don't know if this is the episode that King Diabetes is talking about Charlie Work, but there is one episode where like they start having really special episodes. Like they have this one or two, I forgot, it was like a two-part or whatever, where they go off to a ski lodge and you're having your 80s kind of episodes. Your
Yeah.
typical 80s parody kind of like ski lodge vacation kind of shit. Hilarious. They have that. The last season they had this trip to Ireland. Beautiful. And also character development for Charlie. Charlie had this one episode where it was um it was all in black and white noir kind of stuff, and he's even acting that everybody's acting that way, and he has those inner monologues and everything like that, and it's so creative, so funny, so smart. I love that episode. And then there's another one, or there are a couple ones in this one season, I forgot what season it is, where they start becoming episodic because the first couple seasons is just like each episode is its own thing, right? They kind of
Right.
connect but they don't really. Then they start becoming episodic. There's this one season where shit's happening and you see one of the characters, um Rickety Cricket. You remember who that is, right? it
No.
was it was the one that was a priest but then he becomes a fucking crackhead.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then he was like, you're like Rickety Cricket. So he keeps showing up in these episodes, right? Just like out of nowhere, he just randomly shows up, and they're like, "Hey," and he's like, "Hey," and then he goes away. But then after those episodes, there's an episode where it's about him, and then you see him intertwine, and you see, oh, that's why he came into the bar then, and that's why he was over there doing that, and that's why, and it was creative kind of shit. Like they started actually putting like some, not that they weren't putting any smarts into the beginning because they were all fucking brilliant, but they getting creative. They get really creative with this. And the best part about this show, I feel, is that they're not being forced to make them like crazy. They actually have their own power over this show. That's why
Mhm.
everybody else branches off and going to do their own thing. Everybody in that show ended up having their own show somewhere else, you know?
Right.
Yeah, like, the guy who played Dennis had a show on Fox. The girl who played Dee had a show on Fox, I think too. The guy who played Mac, Rob McElhenney, he has a show on Apple, called Mythic Quest, making fun of that kind of world of like Steve Jobs and Dungeons and Dragons or something like that, I think.
Oh, really?
And Charlie Day's constantly making movies and other stuff, and but then they always come together and then they make these episodes, and it's not every, like, yes, they've been around since 2005, but every year or every season is not a new season of Always Sunny. They have like these constant, like, there was a point where I thought this show was done because there was no new content, but then they make it and they bring it in. So they do it whenever they want,
Well, it
and they
got me
have.
as they did an episode in, like, season 8, I think, where it was like a remake of season 1, an episode they did like season 1, and the whole time they're like, "Haven't we done this before?"
Yeah.
That's what got me, because I was like, "Well, now they've like run out of ideas and now they're rehashing old shit."
Nah, they were just making fun of that. But trust me, they always have ideas. And then what really brought me back to the show too is that they have a podcast where they keep talking about each episode. Kind of, because they'll talk about an episode, but then they just rant off and go on their own thing, and it's still fucking entertaining as shit. But because of that, it's like, okay, I want to go back and start watching, and then I'm watching it again. So it's every time like I just need something to watch and laugh a little bit, I watch like a couple episodes or two, and just just it's my comfort show right now. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Yeah. But yeah, they definitely it's definitely a staple of the longest running show or something like that. They say it's the longest running sitcom show or something like that. And they get to do whatever they want. But you could tell when things are aged. Like, if you watch Juggernaut bitch, that's aged to that time period. That's not something that'll fly today. And they done a lot of that stuff too. But I mean, they get away with it because of the context of the show and what the characters are and whatnot. And then the Lethal Weapon episodes are one of my favorites, but they're not available on Hulu. You have to like fucking dig somewhere else.
Oh.
They took those episodes out to save their asses. Not the people in the show; they don't care. But it was like FX and whatnot. They did that to save their asses when there was all this like racial shit kind of thing, and there was there's black faces in that. But in the newer season, they touch upon that. They go like, "Yo, they took out our movie from the fucking library," and I was like, "Why?" Because they said it was freaking, they canceled it, blah blah. Then we gotta do? We gotta make another Lethal Weapon. Then they touch upon the whole thing. It's like, no, you can't be black facing again. They actually have an actual black person playing the characters, and it's really, really, it's still fucking, it's so brilliant how they touch upon these topics and put it into their show. Like nobody, yeah, King Diabetes. Nobody complained about the Lethal Weapon episodes. Nobody, but that company did it to save their own asses, just in case somebody bitched about it.
Yeah.
It's like everybody's still cool with Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, he didn't get canceled, but then again, I've heard so many times that what's that movie called, Tropic Thunder?
Hmm.
They wouldn't be able to make that movie today or
No,
like
they
two
wouldn't.
years ago when cancel culture was
No,
all on the rise.
no, they wouldn't. No, so
And
that movie
it's
was,
it's it's just like in the 90s when PC culture came in all strong. It
yeah,
lasted a few years and then it just goes away because people end up getting sick of it. They're like,
yeah.
all right, shut up, grow a backbone, and get a sense of humor.
I'm waiting for that. But Tropic Thunder was made at the perfect time, and we got to enjoy it. And still to this day, I hate the fact that like when they show Rush Hour, they need to put a fucking warning in the beginning, like, "Yo, this is dated to that time period." Blah blah. I'm like, come on, man, it's Rush Hour. Are you guys mad because Are you guys just saving your butt because they're making fun of each race and you had Jackie Chan say the N word? It's in the context of the movie and it's comedy. Like nobody was bitching about it, you know? And if anybody goes like, oof, it's like, come on, dude, like a sense of humor. This is humor.
Yeah.
We're laughing at things. Don't take shit serious if it's in the form of comedy. If I'm coming at you hard and calling you names, then you have the right to be pissed off and try to punch me in the face.
They play The Big Hit, which I know is a favorite of ours.
All time.
They play it on Stars all the time, or not Stars, Encore. It's on almost like every other day or something like that.
As it should
And
be.
there's a lot of shit like the guy Gump on there. He says the N word, and so does
Mm-hmm.
uh what's his name? I keep wanting to call him Diamond Ellis Page.
Yes.
Lou
DDP.
uh God, what is his name?
Lou Diamond Phillips.
Lou Diamond Phillips, thank you. He says it.
LDP.
They all make fun of shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that movie's gold and nobody says anything about it and it's on all the time. So
Yeah.
I don't understand like the whole cancel culture or anything. Like, I think they're just a bunch of like new age Karens.
It's the Gen Zers, you know?
Exactly.
They get raised to be like, no, you shouldn't do this, and they're like, oh no, and whatever, and I don't know,
Just a
but
bunch of kids that never had their ass whipped growing up.
yeah. And then it gets me to like I understand because it gets me to the point. It's like oof, like someone showed me videos of someone who did YouTube content back then around the same time that me and everybody else did,
Yeah.
and he used the F word a lot, And I was like, oof, like that was bad. But I remember that time back then, like we would throw that around too. Like, shut up, like I remember,
What, fag?
yeah, and and then the
I say
Hangover
it.
too. Like when they pull up in front of the house, like paging Doctor Faggot, come on, like it was funny.
I hear that in movies all the time too. Like, even ones that weren't made that long ago
Mm-hmm.
still use it.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, the hangover and stuff like that's really not that old.
It's not, and they used it like crazy there. Well, not like crazy, but they used it that one time. I watched
Yeah.
the movie with the kids, the Monster Squad, and this kid was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Quit being a faggot," and I'm like, "Oof." But it was that time period, stuff like that. I find it hilarious, but it's just that the mindset of cancel culture, like, oh shit, that's not gonna fly. I just finished playing. This is a good topic actually. I just finished playing Lollipop Chainsaw. Right, that
And they
was
say
made.
fag.
Huh?
And they say fag.
They say, don't be a fruit. Um, fuck, I forgot what other things they said. They say things in that game that is like raunchy as hell,
I love it already.
and it was great. I fucking loved it. But next year, they already announced that next year is gonna be a remastered version of this game, and I'm like,
Oh
yeah,
no.
this game is gonna be toned down most
They're
definitely
gonna
because
neuter the
yeah,
shit out of it.
I don't think they're gonna do anything. I don't think they're gonna keep everything in this fucking game. So I'm happy now that I actually own this game, that I bought this game long ago, and I
Like on
finally,
disc?
huh?
Like on a disc?
Yeah, yeah, like 360. I played this game off this
Nice.
360. I just finished it earlier. Like this is how old this game is, like 2010, I think. When I looked it up, like it's old, but it's still good. But it's dated to that time, you know.
Right.
But I'm happy now because I think I have like no, I think I have an original version, and I think it's gonna be way different than what is gonna be brought out
Oh,
again.
I'm sure. Like, another favorite of ours is Bill and Ted. Um, 1, 2, and 3. But in 2, in Bogus Adventure, or Bogus Journey, they say fag a lot.
Oh
in that
yeah,
movie
yeah,
too.
yeah. Oh
But in the new one, they don't say anything like that.
no, no. Which makes sense in the sense of, they're older, so they're wiser and stuff like that. So they
Yeah,
wouldn't have to say it. But at that time period, yeah, that makes sense because that's how it was then. You know?
yeah.
That's how it is then, quit being
I
a fag.
I love what they did with South Park. How they changed the meaning of the word so it had no negative connotation to anybody that was homosexual. It was just like for loud, annoying people, usually associated with Harley riders. I thought that was hilarious.
I mean, to be smart, that's the one way to to do everything. And it's funny because in Europe, a fag is a cigarette.
Yep.
Let me get a fag. And then there was a story about Lizzo, how she had a lyric in one of her songs, and it was spaz, but somewhere else, either it's Australia, I think it was Australia, or maybe South Africa. No, I think it was Australia, where spaz meant um, something bad, and they got at her case about it. She was like, "Oh, I didn't know," and then she went and she changed the lyrics.
I
You
read
know,
about that.
yeah, she changed the lyrics about it, and you either I forgot what the conversation was, but people are either like, "Oh, you shouldn't have done that," blah blah, and then people are like, "Yeah, you should have done it." Like I understand the song is more universal stuff like that, but also it's I don't remember like spaz like that's bad now. I can't say I'm spazzing out or anything. You can't say the R
Yep.
word. It can't be like, "Yo, man, it's retarded," because now that's bad.
I don't see the problem with it.
And I want to say all
Unless
those things, but I want to get called out on it. You know?
I have a cousin that's like has Down syndrome, and I've heard him use the word retarded. So all of
No,
it's
for real.
stupid.
It's true. I have well, he's not a coworker anymore, but he still works at the airport. He was
It's
at the
all
other
retarded.
he was at the other company where I worked at. But my boy Kenny, and they always joke that he's retarded, blah blah. I mean, he's a little special, but he always goes like when we have to push heavy pallets and he's pushing it like and I'm like, all right, Kenny. And he's like retard power. I'm like, don't say that. I don't say
It'll
that, Kenny. But you see how
bottom
he
line,
says it, just
all that fucking shit's gonna blow over, and people are gonna be able to say whatever they want again.
mm-hmm. Diabetes brings up the Black Eyed Peas retarded. Actually, though, the Let's Get Retarded song by Black Eyed Peas was changed by them quickly after, but way before the whole like, yo, this is bad kind of shit.
Yeah, they changed it long before any of that PC culture got in the way.
Yeah, they changed it way before. And actually, I prefer the changed version because once I heard like, I heard it, let's get it started. I'm like, cool. And then I heard, let's get retarded. I was like, what the fuck? Nah, that's not cool.
I like it the original way. Keep it original.
Yeah.
That's funny to me. See, shit like that's funny, but fucking It's Always Sunny's. I don't think I've ever laughed during that show.
No,
I
where's
laugh at weird shit. Or
where's
maybe
your
something wrong with me.
they get really weird. I just watched an episode which is clearly it's no hands down by everybody who's a fan is one of the favorite episodes, and it's just in the third season, and it's when the gang gets held hostage and they do this whole like Die Hard kind of thing, and it's the
Mm-hmm.
McPoyles who are the family that's weird and always sweaty and just
Oh
like,
yeah.
oh my god, I was laughing so hard, and my girl's like, "Look, nothing happened. They just talk." I was like, "But it's funny because they come in, they're like screaming at the fucking the gang, and then they're like, take the girl, take the money, whatever." It's like they don't want nothing. They just come and they pull out the mask, the mask, and they're like, "We're just gonna hold you bitches hostage," and I just cracked up. I was like, "That was funny. The McPoyles are fucking hilarious. The delivery is about the delivery. It's fucking
Right.
hilarious." And the more I watch these, the more I laugh because it's just how it is. And the more you listen to the Machine Room podcast, the more you're going to love it.
Yes.
That's what I hope. So please listen to us all the time, every time. Take your eyes to the machineRoompodcast.com, and
Everywhere.
that's where you can find everything Machine Room Podcast, and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Real Machine Room, not the bullshit Machine Room, the real Machine Room. And
Uh-huh.
that's how you can keep up with us. You can also follow Hammer Venus and I on Twitter. Um, you know, Hammer Venus herself, me, Nastradamus, which is Naztradamix. And if you have trouble, just go to the YouTube Real Machine Room and you can see my name right there. And you follow us and you know everything about Machine Room podcast and also everything about my life because I never stop tweeting.
No, he doesn't. Especially when he's streaming or watching a movie.
Especially
Or
when watching a
wrestling.
movie.
Especially wrestling.
Oh, wrestling, everything. I'd like to give my 2 cents out there and have whoever wants to talk back, and we have discussions. And that's how it is, just like we do it here at the Machine Room podcast. This was a
Word.
great episode. Rachel, you started us off with a banger with your story, man. That was a fantastic story.
Thank you.
Fantastic story. I don't want you to have any other shitty days, but I would love to have another story one day.
Well, we'll see. Definitely see what happens. Because I'm always up for, meeting somebody new, especially that I'm hopefully this time would be attracted to.
Let's hope. And let's try to Google your floor plan or something because maybe they have it out there and that's how this chick knew where to go.
Oh, it was weird. Weird bitch.
That's a weird bitch, and we're fucking weird bitches. Thank you for listening to the Machine Room podcast. I'm Nostradamus. She's Hammer Venus,
Yo.
and this is us saying good night and goodbye. Catch you next time, Bill and
Hasta
Ted.
luego.
The moral of the story of today's episode is that when you go on a blind date and you bring them over, make sure you have this floor plan on the ground. Be like, okay, just follow these lines, and you're only allowed in that facility over there. And you just make this
That's
little
it.
taped area. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And you keep that ass right